This time on Fifth Gear, Vicky heads to the south of France to get behind the wheel of the latest generation of a motoring icon.
It definitely feels like a muscle car.
And I go back to where it all began.
I dare you to jump into a Mark I Ford Mustang and try and drive it without a smile on your face.
Jason wrestles the elements.
Why can't it be bloody dry?
And a colossal amount of power as McLaren's new 750S goes head-to-head with Ferrari's groundbreaking hybrid-powered 296 GTB.
She's a bit snappy. And we put Volvo's high-performance EV through its paces.
What is the point of having a family car that's as quick as a 911 Turbo?
But it seems to be hiding some unwelcome surprises.
Oh, my God.
What was that?
Now then, I feel a birthday celebration coming on. I mean, there aren't that many motoring icons that have lasted to the grand old age of 60. We've got Mini, Toyota Land Cruiser.
Jason Plato.
Mate, order. I've got a long way to go yet, but the most important car on that list surely has got to be the Porsche 911.
Well, is it, though?
Absolutely, yes.
No, because 60 years ago, the Americans were busy launching something that is still, to this day, going strong.
I think you might be a bit biased because you had one.
Ah, the Mustang.
And this is the latest offering from the Mustang stable, the Dark Horse. Yes, it is a 5-litre, naturally aspirated V8 with 453 horsepower. God bless America.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't just jump in with a new one. To fully appreciate the impact that the Ford Mustang has had over the last 60 years, we need to go right back to where it all began.
Sorry, Rory.
Much better. The Ford Mustang. With 10 million sold worldwide, it's Ford's longest running and most iconic name badge.
To understand why, we need to go back to this, the Mark I. Born into a time of profound change, youthful energy, and cheap gas prices, this was more than just a car. This was an American dream.
In the early 1960s, Ford saw a gap in the market for a sports car that was practical, exciting, and affordable to young people. The Mustang, as it became known, was launched at the New York World's Fair in April 1964 for a starting price of just $2,368.
The American public had never seen anything like it. From its long bonnet to its tri-bar taillights, it oozed cool and sent a new generation of young, thrill-seeking Americans Mustang mad.
Ford sold over 400,000 in the first 12 months, making it one of the fastest-selling cars of all time. And it wasn't long before the silver screen came calling too. The 1968 classic Bullitt saw Steve McQueen's '68 Mustang GT pursued by one of its biggest rivals, the Dodge Charger. The Stang obviously looked like a film star.
But, as any self-respecting petrol head knows, it's what's under the hood that really matters. And that is a 4.7-litre V8 that brought muscle to the masses with 200 brake horsepower and a 105-mile-an-hour top speed.
Along with the full-fat V8, Ford also offered a frugal 2.8-litre straight six. In fact, choice was one of the factors that made the Mustang such a hit. Along with engines, buyers were faced with an unprecedented choice of body styles, colors, and interior options.
Inside, the Mustang provided a unique blend of sportiness and luxury, with a low driving position, a floor-mounted gear selector, matching front-to-back carpets, and, of course, an AM radio. Not that you'd be able to hear it very much. Listen to that. Oh, it sounds filthy. I dare you to jump into a Mark I Ford Mustang and look out beyond this huge chrome steering wheel and that long bonnet and try and drive it without a smile on your face. Okay, performance isn't this car's strong point. It's nowhere near quick enough to be considered sporty by modern standards. The steering is slightly baggy, slightly loose. The handling's a bit roly-poly, but it's not about going quickly in the Mustang. It's about making progress and feeling good while you do it. The reward doesn't come from the acceleration, it comes from the sound and the experience. This is joyous.
But the Mark I is very much a product of its time. And in 2024, on the country roads of Essex, the experience of driving it comes at a cost.
This car does 12 miles per gallon. Back in 60s America, when fuel was basically free, that wasn't a problem. But let's face it, this is not the car for a cost of living crisis. Something else that's interesting are the brakes. They basically don't exist. Be very careful in a Gen 1 Mustang.
The Mustang has, of course, been updated. 6 generations in as many decades have borne witness to various shapes, specifications, and even, much to the horror of die-hard fans, electric power. A lot has changed since the Mustang's launch in 1964.
Does the Mustang actually still work as a concept in this day and age? Let's not forget, this was a sports car aimed at the masses. But nowadays, what the masses really want are crossovers and SUVs.
Last year, production of 2 of the Mustang's lifelong competitors, the Chevrolet Camaro and the Dodge Charger, was axed. Many worried that Ford would also bow to current trends and call time on its big, naturally aspirated V8 pony cars. Happily, they needn't have worried.
Because it's back. Bigger, better, faster, and it has seen one of its greatest facelifts for years. Later in the show, a dark horse is looming. It just sucks in this massive lungful of air and then... Plus, Jason's in his own happy place.
Oh, it's delicious, isn't it?
Thrashing a pair of insanely powerful supercars around a rain-soaked racetrack.
Come on, lad. Come on! And stop a lot.
I feel a bit sorry for supercar fans at the minute.
Yeah? Why's that?
Well, because you used to know where you stood with a supercar. Fast, fierce, noisy. But now the market's a bit, you know...
Ooh, a bit eco-friendly.
Yeah, I don't know. Hybrid supercars are pretty decent.
Yes, but you've got those heavy batteries and the electric motors, and surely that will put them at a disadvantage against pure petrol.
Well, there's a way to find out.
2 mid-engine supercars with Formula One pedigree. A Mclaren with an old-school turbocharged V8. And the Ferrari with the addition of a cutting-edge electric motor. So, petrol versus hybrid, which one is quickest? Time for a 5th gear shootout. This is the new McLaren 750S. It uses the same 4-litre V8 as the outgoing 720S it replaces, but everything has been dialed up to 11. It's lighter, it's faster, and refreshingly, it's cheaper.
I mean, it's sensational.
Taking on the McLaren is Ferrari's 296 GTB. This is far from a traditional Ferrari. It uses a clever 3-litre hybrid V6 turbo to deliver its ferocious power.
Be a fighter.
Despite their vastly different powertrains, Ferrari and McLaren have produced supercars with near identical performance. But when you've got monsters like this at your disposal, the last thing you want, really, is a wet track.
Oh, man, why can't it be bloody dry?
The Ferrari's having its batteries topped up, so let's start with the McLaren.
Now, the key thing about this McLaren is its weight. It's 200 kilograms lighter than the Ferrari. I mean, that's 2.5 of me.
McLaren have also fettled the way the car drives. A wider track at the front, plus revised steering and brakes help to make the car feel totally focused.
The grip is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it feels like a race car. So now what I've just done is I've turned everything off. There's no traction, no nothing. Full 750 horsepower with no intervention. Hello, saucy devil. Do you know what? I prefer it. I've got full control with my right foot. Warrior fighter.
It's a great piece of kit, but it should be. The car I'm driving today comes in at a whopping 350 grand.
Let's have it. Time for a fast lap. Right, come on, JP, get a good exit out of here. Start the watch. Come on, JP. Jesus Christ. God, it's so bloody quick.
On a twisty track like this, the McLaren's active rear spoiler is constantly changing its angle, reducing drag on the straights, but adding downforce on the brakes and into the corners.
I've got to be careful here. There's a bit of damp there. It just caught me out nearly. Come on, JP. Right, get a good clean exit. Here we go. Come on, lad. Come on! And stop a watch.
The McLaren sets a blisteringly quick time of 1 minute 13.8 on a soaking wet track.
13.8. I mean, that's mind-blowing. It's fantastic to drive.
Now for the Ferrari. It may have been launched 4 years ago, but the 296 hybrid drivetrain feels more cutting-edge than McLaren's blunt-edge V8. But in these conditions, the prancing horse, who's got a bit of a bite.
She's a bit snappy, but I can do this. Quite happily drive along in electric-only mode for something like 15 miles. It's quite surreal, isn't it? Tell you what, though, who wants a Ferrari with no engine? Here we go. That's better.
Thanks to its regen braking, every time you barrel into a corner, you're also topping up the battery. And when you're not in EV-only mode, the electric motor adds an extra 164 brake horsepower to the 654 already on tap from the V6. Plus, it also adds instant torque for lightning-quick acceleration.
It's extraordinary. I mean, you know, 60 mile an hour now, foot down. 110 miles an hour, this will still spin the rear wheels. It's bonkers. In the way, if I'm truly honest, it's a bit of a handful. It's not relaxing at all. But there is one thing which is just glorious. It's the engine.
Incidentally, this is the first V6 to go into a Ferrari road car.
Oh, it's delicious, isn't it?
But all this innovation comes at a price. And once you've factored in 14 grand for the blue racing stripe, this particular 296 will set you back £359,000. Let's find out if it would be money well spent. Time for a quick lap.
I've got everything turned off, no traction control, no stability. I'm in full race spec.
At the first checkpoint, the McLaren and Ferrari are neck and neck.
Right, power, power, power. Oh, that's lovely, JP. Now she's hooked up. Come on, you little fighter. Let's stroll on. 150 mile an hour there. Well, at least I got it in. Oh, dob in. Come on.
By the second checkpoint, it couldn't be closer, but the Ferrari looks a little bit better out of the corner.
I tell you what, the brake is so good, it's taking me bloody glasses off.
The Ferrari crosses the line in 1 minute 14.1. Boy, that was close. But the McLaren takes it by 0.3 of a second.
Jesus Christ.
Ferrari's high-tech hybrid 296 and McLaren's old-tech 750S are both incredible machines. Another day, and the Ferrari's instant torque may have swung the result, but on this track and in these grisly conditions, it was a narrow win for McLaren's old-school V8.
If you'd rather a high-end used car than a low-end new car, then welcome to Second-Hand Heroes. Today, we've handed over the reins to Fifth Gear's very own boy racer, Sid North.
So you want 4 seats, maybe 5, and you want a big boot to swallow everyone's luggage. But you're not ready to give up on driving thrills. So what's the solution? And how about a performance estate? A bit like this Subaru Impreza WRX Sport Wagon and the VW Golf R Estate. They look extremely tempting. Let's have some keys. If you're a car nerd like me, you won't need pictures to recognise what I'm driving. Have a listen. Yes, the Subaru. There's nothing out there that sounds quite like an Impreza. It's almost like the engine is misfiring, but it's just a characteristic of the car. Because it's a flat 4, which means that the cylinders aren't a straight line or in a V shape, but they stick out sideways. You've got 2 pistons on the left and 2 pistons on the right. Launched in 1992, the WRX was based on the car that Subaru were using in the World Rally Championship. In 1994, when it was launched in the UK, it cost £18,000. Today, you can pick up a WRX estate for less than £5,000. With a turbo bolted to its 2-litre engine, the power output was 220 horsepower, which can propel this car to 62 in just 6 seconds. However, while the 220 horsepower is good, it's not that good. So why is the WRX so quick? Traction is the Impreza's secret weapon because it's got a permanent 4-wheel drive system with a clever differential, which means that it can distribute power to wherever it needs it best. So, what's it like to drive? Well, it's actually a good laugh. This 5-speed manual gearbox, nice and snickety. The steering has a nice degree of weight. There's bags of grip. This might be an old girl, but I'm telling you, this could keep up with the very best of hot hatches. And you've got that soundtrack. If you want a rally-bred Subaru in your life, what should you look out for? These Imprezas are now 30 years old, so look out for signs for rust. The areas to check include the wheel arches, sills, suspension struts, and around the rear screen. Buy a good one because the cost to fix could hit £2,500. The 4-cylinder doesn't get as much cooling as the other 3 and can overheat. Initially on start-up, and then eventually over time it will start knocking. And staying in the engine bay, high oil consumption could mean that the piston rings have failed. Any sort of engine overhaul could set you back nearly £3,000. Time for some golf. Everyone knows that the VW Golf has been around for ages, and the Mark I GTI, which came out in 1976, is to be considered as the godfather of all hot hatches. And in 2015, VW applied their Go Fast knowledge to an estate version. In fact, they went one better. Because this isn't a Golf GTI estate. It's a Golf R estate. And that R stands for racing, which makes a huge difference. The Mark VII Golf GTI had a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder producing 220 horsepower. which is nothing to sniff at. However, the Golf R has 300 horsepower. The GTI's engine was reworked to increase the power, but the revisions didn't stop there. Gone was the usual front-wheel drive system, and in favour came four-wheel drive, just like the Impreza I've just driven. And like the Impreza, the combination of power and traction it produces is mighty impressive. For example, 0 to 62 comes up in just over 5 seconds. Not bad for an estate that can hold 1,620 litres with the seats down. And it's ULEZ compliant. On the outside, the only nods to its outrageous performance are the special edition alloys, quad exhausts and subtle body extensions. But fast is one thing. Is it fun? Well, the answer is a massive yes. The engine is an effective power plant. It revs hard and strong, and the brakes are good too. When it was new, the R Estate cost £35,000, which was a lot for a Golf, even one as good as this. Fortunately, depreciation has had an effect, and these Golf R Estates can be found for around £15,000. If you'd like a Golf R Estate on your drive, here's what to look out for. If the engine starts to run hot and the coolant goes missing, then the water pump could be on the blink. Then you'll blink at a £750 bill. If the DSG gearbox struggles to find a gear, or if there's any worrying vibrations coming from it, then one of the fancy clutches could be failing. And you could be shelling out £2,000, perhaps almost double that. And the rocker cover seal could fail. The smell of burning oil or drips on the ground could signal £600 repair. So, after a day with these high-performance estates, which would I choose? Well, as much as I love the Subaru, it's got to be the Golf R Estate. It is literally all the car you ever need.
Up next,
Where have all the small, affordable cars gone?
small cars are disappearing from Britain's roads, and Grace Webb wants to know why.
We go full beans in the all-new electric Volvo.
I tell you what, it's quick, isn't it?
It is really quick.
It's their fastest accelerating car ever. But can the EX30 perform in a fifth-gear team test?
I've actually got a massive shot of adrenaline that's gone through my body because this car has just taken over.
And Vicky's ripping up the Côte d'Azur in Ford's all-new Mustang Dark Horse.
What a total joy to experience a naturally aspirated engine with no stuff on it.
Come to think of it, there aren't that many small, new cars around at the moment, are there?
I know, have you seen the new Mini Countryman? It's massive. I reckon you could get an original Mini in the boot.
It is a real issue, particularly if you're young and you need something affordable.
Yeah, or if you live in the city and you want something nippy and easy to park.
Especially with your parking, pal.
Oi.
Yeah. So what do you think is going on?
We need an investigation.
Yeah. This sounds like a mission for our fifth-gear consumer queen.
Paging Grace Webb.
My first car was a Peugeot 206. Its modern-day equivalent, the 208, is a full 20 centimetres longer. And if small cars aren't being supersized, they're being discontinued. Last year, we said farewell to the UK's best-selling car of all time, the Ford Fiesta. And we've also recently said goodbye to the VW Up, the Toyota Aygo, the Citroën C1 and the Peugeot 108. This is one of the survivors, the Kia Picanto. But if you're looking for a cheap runaround, then think again, because the new Picanto starts at £15,595. That's 57% more than what it cost back in 2020. To help shed some light on the declining numbers of small cars, I'm taking a drive with car market guru Steve Fowler, former editor of Auto Express, Autocar and What Car. So, Steve,
Where have all the small, affordable cars gone?
It's madness, isn't it? Because people want to buy them, and the car makers just can't make small cars cheap enough anymore for people to buy. There's a lot of legislation and a lot of regulations that have to be met, and with small cars, the profit margins are much smaller. To hit the latest emissions targets, lots of gadgets and gizmos and technology has to go into the engine and the exhaust system, and that all costs money.
And the same is true for the safety features that manufacturers are now duty-bound to add to their cars.
It's difficult to criticise safety, but maybe the legislators need to lay off a little bit, like your lane departure warning and your speed limit warning, all the beeps and bongs that add up to a good Euro NCAP rating. When you put it onto a small car, it just makes these things less affordable, makes the profit margins even smaller.
The government recently put more pressure on manufacturers with the zero-emission vehicle mandate. Its aim is to phase out petrol and diesel cars by 2035. So could this move to EVs herald a new era of small, affordable cars?
So are batteries the answer?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, batteries, really expensive. So they're not really the answer to affordable small cars. I think the future for the small car is really difficult until the cost of batteries come down.
So has our appetite for small cars simply diminished?
Hi, David.
To find out, I'm heading to the front line of the war on small cars to meet David Hancock, who's run a used car dealership for many years.
So you're a small car specialist.
Absolutely.
Is there still demand for these kinds of cars?
Well, yeah, there is, yeah. The demand for these cars is huge. The issue we have is not in selling them, is in buying them. 20% of the cars we have here are small cars, whereas traditionally we were 100% small cars, and that was our entire focus.
So would you say it's affected you and your business, the shortage of small cars?
Well, absolutely, yeah, because the supply of second-hand cars is driven by the sale of new cars. People have bought a Volkswagen Up or a Fiesta 2 or 3 years ago now, and they want to go back and buy a new one from the manufacturer. They can't, they don't sell it anymore.
Yeah.
And they tend to keep the car they've got for long or indefinitely.
Which customers are going to miss these as they become more and more unavailable?
Traditionally, I guess people who just passed their test and older people downsizing from bigger cars into something more economical.
So what would you say to manufacturers who are starting to phase out these small cars and stop the production of them?
I think it's a short-sighted view. Not everybody wants to buy a medium-sized hybrid or a medium-sized electric car. Some people struggle to park a bigger car, to drive a bigger car. And small cars are better for your pocket.
Yeah.
And these people are going to find themselves not in a great position shortly.
So, what's the solution?
What do we want to see from manufacturers?
I think manufacturers have to accept that people want to buy small cars. OK, the profit margins might not be in there, but cars like this Kia Picanto, Kia are making small cars in the hope that somebody buys a Picanto, their next car may well be a Sportage or an EV9 eventually. You know, the cars with the bigger margins, and it's a bit of an investment in the future of your customer.
With 40% of British drivers preferring to stay brand loyal, car makers should take note. It seems unlikely that the prices of small cars will drop anytime soon. So if you're lucky enough to own one, for now, I suggest you hang on to it.
Now it's time to hit the test track as we get a quick first look and drive of a brand new car. Yes, it's the fifth gear team test.
Today, the team tested the Volvo EX30. Volvo has come a long way since its days of making practical, boxy estates. In the UK, 90% of their sales are SUVs, and the new all-electric EX30 is the smallest that the Swedish firm makes, but it's also the quickest. This performance version has a 0 to 62 time of less than 4 seconds. That's as swift as a Porsche 911 Carrera in a car designed to rival small electric SUVs and hatchbacks like the Hyundai Kona and the VW ID3. Boys, the EX30 in the flesh, Volvo's fastest, most powerful production Volvo ever.
It doesn't look like the fastest production Volvo ever, does it?
No.
Hey, do you not like it? I think it's a really great-looking, chunky little number.
I think it's all right, but the kind of vibes I'm getting are, I don't know, like white goods.
What?
Like a fridge.
I mean, Rory wasn't that keen on it, didn't like it very much, which I don't understand, because I think it's cute. The specs are amazing on this, aren't they?
Yeah. Just over 3.5 seconds to 62 miles an hour.
That's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What is the point of having a family car that's as quick as a 911 turbo?
Oh, because once you've dropped the kids off, woo, mama's, boom, mama has some fun.
Yeah.
Rory has yet to be wowed by the EX30. Maybe its back end will tickle his fancy.
See, now, I love the rear end of Volvos. I love their light, the way the lights are.
Yeah.
It's really clean and simple.
I think that might be my favourite angle, actually, the rear.
Do you want to see my favourite angle?
Yeah? On the inside, the boot is small, just 318 litres, which is considerably less than the similarly sized Hyundai Kona, which has 466. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for with sensible Swedish design. You can actually drop this down and make the space even deeper. The Volvo's attention to detail extends into the cabin. Firstly, can I just ask you to put your hands on the door handle?
Oh, they are nice, aren't they?
That is a beautiful bit of design.
They might be up there with the best door handles.
I know.
It's really gorgeous, isn't it?
It's one of my favourite things I think I've ever seen in a car.
I like the materials in here. I love this blue. It's got a nice, smooth, kind of cool feel.
It comes from recycled denim, as much recycled as possible. I really like the way that Volvo has used as many recycled materials as possible. That's a really big plus in my book. And this, well...
Oh.
Ding dong.
Lovely.
Double cup holder with a lovely smooth action.
What that is. What a nice bit of design.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It feels fresh in here. It feels like they've made an effort.
Yeah.
It's really good design. It's a bit small, but we know that anyway.
Yeah.
I think they've done a great job.
Strap
come
in.
on.
Don't go too fast.
I promise I won't. To the test track. Volvo's gone down the Tesla route of using the touchscreen to manage nearly all the car's controls. So we decide to check out how easy it is to access a simple function.
What about the headlights?
You mean the headlights is on here? Is that what you're saying, Rory?
I mean, I think so, by the looks of it.
No, it can't be, can it?
Oh my gosh, it is. Like many other manufacturers, the Volvo comes with a plethora of driving aids. The EX30 has Pilot Assist to help you maintain a safe distance in traffic, a driver alert system to give you a prompt if the car suspects you're becoming drowsy, and a collision avoidance system that will apply the brakes and steer the car if it detects imminent danger. Oh my God!
What was that? Did it just brake by itself?
Yes.
It just locked up?
I've never, ever
That's mental.
experienced this. What's gone on,
Why
please?
do you do that?
That's unbelievably dangerous.
That is so scary.
I've actually got a massive shot of adrenaline that's gone through my body because this car has just taken over. So I really felt uneasy from that point onwards, and it makes me so cross that the computer can override me. I don't trust this car now.
And then we tried to recreate it, and guess what? It did it again.
Wandering a little bit around here.
There
Done
it is.
it again.
Yeah. What was that?
What the f is it doing?
What was that? Was it pulling you right?
It's pulling me slightly, but it's the braking. It's braking more than anything.
I suspect it might be because we were going over some slight bumps in the road on the left-hand side, and the traction control decided to save us, even though we didn't need saving. It was quite alarming.
Turn off.
Jason dives back into the menus and turns off the electronic stability control, but that poses another potential problem. Having the ESC off means I have to be more aware as a driver, which is fair enough for me, but not for maybe my mum, for example.
Well, yeah, you want your ESC on, don't you?
Yeah.
You just don't want it overreacting.
Yeah. Despite everything, we still need to test out the 0 to 62 time, so we head to a nice, long, straight, closed road to see just how quick the Volvo is.
Right. I tell you what, it's quick, isn't it?
It's really quick. Where are we? 80 miles an hour already. 100. Oh, I feel like I'm plateauing out. The speedo says 116. I'm at max chat.
What's the numbers, Roy?
4.4 to 62 and a quarter mile in 12.5.
It's quick, isn't it?
It's good, but not quite as quick as advertised. But that might be due to the amount of charge we have left.
What's the battery level? 65?
65.
It's probably too low.
And being 3 up doesn't help either. Have to doff my hat to Mr. Rory Reid and say, I was wrong, Rory, you were right. I really don't think that this car needs to be that quick.
Overall thoughts on the EX30? Why? 5. That's a picture of a fridge, by the way.
I like it, so I'm going to give it a nice shiny 8.
I really wanted to like this car, but it spooked me rigid. I'm going to give it a 4. Volvo says, in the case of this specific footage, it is hard to ascertain the exact cause of the intervention without knowing the wider context of what was happening around the car. However, we are confident in the robustness of the EX30's advanced safety technologies and have received very few reports from our customers of unwarranted interventions. So, despite being the quickest accelerating car Volvo has ever made, it only received a team test score of 17 out of 30. The overzealous driver aids made it tricky to like.
Up next, good things come to those who wait, and Ford have been waiting for 60 years to unleash this special edition Dark Horse Mustang. Vicky's in the south of France to try and tame this iconic wild stallion.
One of the best things about this car is the noise. Earlier, Rory gave us a history lesson on the first 6 decades of a genuine American legend, the Ford Mustang.
Listen to that.
And it appears that the iconic muscle car is refusing to grow old gracefully. Introducing the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. This is a tuned-up, track-focused special edition version of the brand new 7th generation Mustang. And while Rory drove his 64 original through the damp, narrow backroads of Essex, I've had to slum it across to France's Côte d'Azur to take a ride in the latest version. Ford knows what the petrol-head faithful expect with a Mustang, so there's no clever hybrid system, no vegan-friendly interior, and not much fuel economy to speak of either. Yes, it is a 5-litre, naturally aspirated V8 with 453 horsepower. God bless America. Not only does it make a great noise, but the engine will power the Mustang to 62 in 4.4 seconds and on to 155. And for those who can't remember what one looks like, this is a 6-speed manual gearbox. And on my left leg, it's a clutch. Of course, there are some concessions to modernity, with 2 large screens now housing all the dials and most of the controls. And the body has been given a tweak. There's a larger front grille, new-style LED headlamps, a sleeker roofline and a shorter rear overhang, a nod to the proportions of the original Mustang. And there's one other thing that you will only find on this state-of-the-art pony car. Yes, it is the badge. It is the only Mustang in the entire history of the world to have a horse's head on the back as opposed to a galloping horse. Right, enough looking. It's time to take this pony for a ride. The Dark Horse will definitely turn heads, thanks to a striking front end, race-inspired diffuser and a fixed rear wing. One of the best things about this car, though, is the noise. As well as a few extra horses over the standard GT version, the Dark Horse also boasts uprated suspension and a race-inspired differential to help tame those rear wheels in the corners. And all of these things make me very happy. It mixes old school character with a modern feel in the way that it drives. The gearbox is a solid 6-speeder. You need a bit of muscle to move it through the gate, but not too much, and it's a really lovely short throw. However, you can tell the width of this car because my clutch leg is way, way apart from the gearbox itself. It's not like a little European sports car where everything's up nice and close. You do have to move across the cabin a bit to operate it fully. Obviously, that faraway clutch won't be an issue for UK spec right-hand drive Mustangs. Oh, it is an incredibly leggy V8. It just sucks in this massive lungful of air and then fires it out. What a total joy to experience a naturally aspirated engine with no stuff on it. Oh! When it comes to everyday usability, this is perfect, even though this is more geared towards the occasional track day. The seats are very comfortable, big and snug, but if you want super snug ones, you can get optional Recaros, and they would be preferable if you did a lot of track work. The track day cred of the Dark Horse is bolstered by its performance package, which includes a lightweight radiator, auxiliary engine oil cooler, and rear axle cooler to stop it overheating when you take your Stang for some hot laps. Despite a lot of controls being tucked in the dash, there are some buttons. I've got loads on the steering wheel to play with. I can go straight into different modes: track, sport, normal, custom, slippery roads, and then drag strip. Hello, hello, hello. And who can resist drag strip mode? Certainly not me when an opportunity arises. So, drag strip mode, it stiffens the front and raises the rear, and then I have got line lock. Put you in first gear. Lovely. It definitely feels like a muscle car. It really, really does. Oh, it's quick. At the very least, every Mustang should put a smile on your face, and heck yeah, the Dark Horse delivers. It feels properly naughty that Ford even makes a car like this. Naturally, there is a price to pay. £65,585 to be precise, which may seem a lot of money for a car that doesn't make a whole lot of sense on Britain's crowded, speed camera-infested roads. So at this point, I could advise you to save money and buy something sensible instead, like a Nissan Leaf, but I shan't. The Dark Horse is a guilty pleasure, and it's worth every penny.